If you are into light or ultralight lure fishing, this video is for you. Recently, I've been shown a very good braided line from AliExpress, which is very affordable. It's actually 5 to 7 times cheaper than comparable lines from Japan. Before going any further, I must mention that I paid for all these lines out of my own pocket, and no one paid me to do this video. And now let's talk about the line itself. As you can see, you can get them in 3 different colors: white, green and pink, and you can get them in 3 different diameters in Japanese markings. It's a PE 0.2, PE 0.4 and PE 0.6. There is nothing else really, just 3 diameters, which is good for ultralight and light fishing. That's great, you don't need anything else. And you will get 100 meters on the spool, and that's a 8 carrier braid. The packaging is very basic, just a hard paper box, which is great. They are not using any plastic for packaging. Obviously the spool itself, it's made out of clear and decent quality plastic with a round hole in the middle. Just you will be able to use some kind of a spooler to put the line onto the reel. That's great. When it comes to the price, I mentioned already that the value of this braid is very good. It's actually very cheap compared to Japanese braids, which are comparable in my opinion. This one costs as of 2021 January only about £3, about 350 euros, and about 4 United States dollars per 100 meter spool. And those Japanese ones would be, as I said, about 7 times more than that. In my opinion, there are 4 main properties to talk about when looking at any braided line. That's thickness, roundness, stiffness and smoothness of the line. So let's have a closer look at all those properties. Right, I will be only looking at the thinnest of the 3 of that Kingdom braided line, and that's PE 0.2. I don't really need to know how thick those thicker ones are. I'm the most interested in that thinnest one. Okay, I have prepared a little test here, just more or less like for a visual inspection. I have 3 lines and I will name them in a sec. So on your left, that's a EGK X4 PE 0.2. Then in the middle, that's a Kingdom PE 0.2, as I mentioned. And on the right here, I have Unitica X4 at PE 0.4, and the thicknesses, right? You can see immediately that the EGK is by far the thinnest of the 3, much thinner than those 2, and that's expected because it's 0.2, that's 0.4, and that should be 0.2 as well, but it's not, as you can see clearly. Now those 2, so 0.4 Unitica and 0.2 Kingdom from AliExpress. Visually I would say that the Kingdom one is a little bit thinner than the Unitica, and the Unitica is a little bit maybe kind of not perfectly round, I would say. But visually I would say that the Kingdom braided line is about, like real diameter is about 0.3 PE to 0.4 PE, even though they are lying about the diameter, but still it's very good, because if you would compare this one and this one, are costing 5 to 7 times more than this one, and these 2 are comparable, and in my opinion that's great. When it comes to the roundness, I can't see actually any flat or flattish spots on this line. It looks perfectly round to my eyes. When I try to kinda twist the line, then I can see a little bit like rougher areas appearing, but again, that's common with any braided line, no matter how expensive or cheap it is. And this one definitely is comparable to any Japanese braid in my opinion. When it comes to the smoothness of the line, when I try to gently stroke the line with my fingers, I can feel that it's not exactly like as smooth as monofilament would be, but it's comparable to any other Japanese braid, I would say. Maybe there are a little bit smoother ones, but not by much really. And when I tried to fish using this line, I was casting kinda, and I was trying to push it a little bit just by casting hard really, and I wasn't able to hear the line too much really. Again, comparable to most Japanese braids, which are many times more expensive than this one. When it comes to the stiffness, in my opinion, this braid has right amount of stiffness. It's not too soft, so it won't create you any like wind knots or wraparounds around the rod tip, but it's not exactly like super hard, so you would like suffer short casts, etc., and coils coming from the reel spool. This one has the right stiffness in my opinion, so it's very good to use, and I tried it and it works exactly as it looks like. The stiffness is just right in my opinion. Right, the conclusion. In my opinion, this braid is great. It's not quite as thin as the best Japanese braids, but it's about 90% there, I would say, for 5 to 7 times cheaper. Therefore, from now on, I will be using this braid for all my ultralight and light lure fishing. Obviously, I will be using those thinnest Japanese braids when I will be targeting small fish or silverfish on lures, when using super ultralight tackle. But other than that, I will be using this braid for most of my lure fishing actually. But it will be it from me for today. I hope you'll find this video useful. Also, let me remind you, if you will decide to grab a couple spools of this fantastic line yourself, please consider using those links below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.